Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. It's been a heck of a start to 2023 if you're talking about the markets. So are we seeing the creation of a brand new bull market? Well, I want to share with you perspective from a few individuals, including on-chain analytics firm Sentiment. I love the raw data that they share. And they're all over the place. They're not unique. It's not just Bitcoin. Yeah, they cover Bitcoin, but they cover XRP at times, broader crypto markets, and they just share cold, hard facts, and then they'll interpret it and share with you what they think that means. But I find that endlessly fascinating. And if you look at how crypto markets are performing relative to the stock market, well, they think that it might be rather telling. Also, I want to share with you this article from the Daily Hodl titled Macro Guru Rao Paul says, risk assets very bullish this year with crypto markets popping out of the water. So, and I'll share with you, you'll see what he means by that. That's kind of a stupid title, to be honest with you. But I'm a big fan of Rao Paul. He happens to be pro XRP. He holds XRP. He said when XRP is around $1, from that point he was expecting a tenfold increase. He's optimistic that regarding the SEC v. Ripple case, there's going to be a positive outcome, which is the bet that he's making. He thinks it's going to go. And so he's a very open-minded guy because he's very well known in the Bitcoin community, even more so than within the XRP community. And he got a lot of flack for being pro XRP, but he's like, I'll not be told what to think. But anyway, so he's a former Goldman Sachs exec and big into crypto, pro XRP. And I'll share with you what he has to say because what he's talking about within this article, what's covered, is his expectation that the Fed is actually going to begin reducing their rate hikes. Not that they'll instantly go away. And don't forget, at the end of this month, there's going to be another FOMC meeting. So the Fed, we'll see what they do. I don't think that there's going to stop hiking rates just because we've seen inflation begin to go the right direction. I wouldn't anticipate that. But to suppose that perhaps we may see a smaller increase than what we saw during the last FOMC meeting in December, just last month, that seems pretty reasonable to me. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this, XRP is at 39 cents, Bitcoin's at $21,124, market cap $991 billion, and Bitcoin dominance at 41%. And Crypto Fear and Greed Index, look at that. It's back above 50. It's at 51 out of 100, meaning that those lovable, cuddly little retail lemmings out there that don't know their left hand from their right, they're no longer in fear. And I'm going to sleep extra spectacularly tonight knowing that they are not in fear. Because again, that's where we've been for most of the last 12 months, in fact. And I don't feel like I need to read this article, but even just the headline, the fact that we're even seeing stuff like this, I'll take it. Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana surged to 2-month highs as crypto market cap surpasses $1 trillion. And at the moment, I'm recording this just a hair shy. And this was just from several days ago. But looking back to the sentiment, even just a few weeks ago, I mean, you're talking extreme fear territory. And to see the flip and the endless number of headlines bullish. And that's why a lot of the analysts that I tend to not regularly follow, I'm just kind of interesting when they say interesting things. I don't take a lot of it seriously, but when they pop up in my Twitter feed, and I just see how they, because I can recall, I got a human brain here, and I remember some of the stuff that some of these people that I don't regularly intentionally follow just pop in my feed. I know what their perspectives are, and then I see them flip their analysis as soon as we start going in a different direction. And those are the ones that I'm not as interested in. But there are some analysts that I think to be, the top shelf there. And which I'm going to share in just a second. But first, let's talk about a couple things that Sentiment had to say this morning. First, there was this tweet where on-chain analytics firm Sentiment wrote the following. Traders are treating Bitcoin's signs of life as a signal that a bigger breakout may be looming. The rebound back over $21,000 in January has resulted in the crowd showing the most optimism they've had in markets since July. Now, folks, I've now been in crypto for over half a decade. And when things like this happen, I pay attention. It's not some sort of, there is no single metric to look at to say, okay, now I know what will happen. But this is a noteworthy thing here. When you see this type of shift after that type of market beatdown for the calendar year of 2022, yeah, pay attention to it. That very well may signal a bottom. And then take a look at this. Now, this one's extra interesting because we know that crypto markets move in tandem with equities, the stock market, right? Now, of course, it's true. If you zoom out on a chart, you can see the movements. And though, of course, obviously, crypto way more volatile. So even when you see moves in tandem, if it's to the downside, you'll see Bitcoin and crypto markets move down way more dramatically. Extra scare, right, when that happens. And but when things are going to the positive, well, what do you think has the bigger move? Well, obviously it's crypto, and Bitcoin and XRP pick your crypto. So if you zoom out on a chart, you can still see the movements are in tandem. It's just the percentages in terms of change are quite different. And then also, there are individual moments where there isn't perfect correlation, which has always been the case. That's to be expected. And so that's why when I'm talking about, and other people talk about the idea that the markets move in tandem, it's just, they're just saying effectively, if you zoom out in a chart, you can see, yes, obviously. They're being treated and thought about in similar ways by market participants in both markets. But even so, what are we seeing now? Well, this is what Santiman's pointing out in this tweet from this morning. They wrote, despite the S&P 500 going through a mild correction these past couple days, Bitcoin and Ethereum are holding up well after last week's price surges. Generally, bull markets start when there is no correlation between crypto and equity prices. And then they give a little thumbs up emoji. So they're pointing out here is that today, especially over the last couple days, crypto is outperforming, and today XRP happens to be outperforming Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, I guess. And the short-term stuff isn't XRP versus Bitcoin. I don't care as much about. But the fact that we just had what we had in 2022, and then you're having this short-term decoupling, if you will. It's not a permanent decoupling. The asset classes are still going to move in tandem. But when you see this type of activity, you can see what Santiman's pointing out here. That's interesting. So are we seeing the creation of a brand new bull market? Well, there are a lot of people that I follow that already thought this was probably at some point soon going to be the case anyway. But this is there's an increasing amount of evidence based on how humans are actually behaving in markets, and this is part of it. And then there was also this is the one I wanted to highlight. In terms of investment strategy. And this is why for me, I'm not a trader. I'm just a dude that holds some crypto. I don't want to get in and out of my positions. I don't want to worry about a damn thing. I'm here for the long haul. That's how I'm able to sleep easy at night. But, for the people that are trying to figure out, because they want exposure to the crypto asset class, and if they have some, maybe they just want more. But for those people, there's always this level of fear of, but what if it goes lower? What if markets go even lower? Okay, but what if they don't, and then you didn't buy what you wanted to buy at the level? See, that's the thing. That's why for me, when I buy crypto and then the price go down, I'm like, okay, whatever. Because what I'm focusing on is the quantity of that crypto that I hold. And so there's this tweet from December 27th from chart analyst Income Sharks, another analyst that I'm very fond of, and he said the following, again, December 27th. Bitcoin, I'd rather be an early bull than a late bear. Late bears will wait for price targets that will never hit. It's the same as the late bulls holding for prices that never came. Precisely, which is why I'm happy to buy as price go down. I don't care. And then he tweeted out just today, he shared that tweet and he wrote, being optimistic and bullish early has made January an incredibly profitable month. Well, good for him. And he is a trader, so he's a long-term holder, but he's also a trader. I think trading's horrible for most people, but good on him for finding success doing it. And then there was this from the Daily Hodl. And this is why it's so exciting. When you're talking about on a macro level what's happening, this in conjunction, should this come to pass anyway, this in conjunction with the conclusion of the SEC v. Ripple case, which I think is already going to make XRP price go ballistic. No matter, even if you get a bad one, it's going to go ballistic. But I'm anticipating a positive ruling, at least for XRP holders. Even if Ripple gets fined or they technically lose, I won't care too much about that. Not going to shed a whole bunch of tears over that as long as there's clarity for XRP holders. So imagine that happens, and then imagine that what we're seeing from the Fed, because like it or not, people are looking at what the Fed's doing, and then in crypto, it's informing their buying and selling decisions. If the Fed indeed is going to interpret this decrease in terms of inflation, the rate of inflation. There still is inflation, but you understand, like, it's decreased from month to month. Still up substantial if you look year over year. But if you consider that, of course, the Fed's looking at that, and then think, what does that mean? Because if they reduce the rates, so like even if they increase the interest rate, but the rate of increase is less than after the last FOMC meeting, well, what's that going to signal the markets? Because again, the greater the interest rate, the more you're going to slow economic activity, the more that scares people. So if even the direction is heading in the right way, in terms of a lower interest rate, well, what do you think that's going to do? And so that's what Raoul Paul's getting at here. So check out this article from the Daily Huddle. Real Vision CEO Raoul Paul says a changing macroeconomic backdrop makes him very bullish on risk assets like crypto. In a new Real Vision finance video, the former Goldman Sachs executive says that a deceleration of the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes could serve as a tailwind for both traditional and crypto markets. Last year, the Fed's crusade to combat inflation led to 4 consecutive 0.75 interest rate increases before the central bank slowed it down to 50 basis points in December. So imagine, folks, what if after that increase of 50 basis points, that's 0.5% in December, what if they slow it to 25 basis points, which are going to just be a 0.25% increase? What do you think that's going to do? And in fact, to what degree has that impacted what we've seen in 2023? It's viewed, obviously, and for obvious reasons, if you understand what it is, it's obviously positive news, and that's how it's being viewed. It's how it's being interpreted by market participants. But anyway, here's a quote from Raoul Paul. I'm actually very bullish. Now the recovery from a bear market either comes in 2 ways. It comes up, corrects, and then eventually goes, or it comes sharper. It depends on central bank action, liquidity, that kind of stuff. But if I look forward, I'm very bullish because we've just gone through the rate cycle, so that's out of the way. It's the rate of change that matters. The rate of change comes down first and then sticks. So that's good for risk assets, end quote. With inflation starting to ease its grip on the economy, Paul predicts the rate of change will continue to decelerate, which he thinks is bullish for crypto and other markets. And folks, I sure as hell hope that he's right about this, because that is the direction that you want to go. And just understanding cyclically how things perform in crypto, like this, because look, this seems to me, it seems to feel very similar to 5 years ago. Beginning of 2018, and obviously markets were I'm sorry, I meant to say 4 years ago after the markets cratered. 4 years ago, 2019. After we went through that whole 2018 bear market, it feels very similar. People are still saying, okay, well, we just had that December low of $3,200 for Bitcoin, but it's going to be going to $1,000. It feels very similar. Here's another quote from him. A lot of the direction is that inflation weight is less, and therefore the rate of change of interest rate increases the Fed are making it pretty clear they're probably going to get a 25 basis point. In global macro, it's the rate of change that matters more than anything else, not the absolutes. If the rate of change changes, all these beach balls start popping out of the water that have been held down by the heavy weight of interest rate raises and that rate of change. That's all gone. So suddenly, emerging markets go up, gold goes up, crypto goes up, and equities go up. That whole story. End quote. Yep. Well, I sure as hell hope so. There's a lot of people that are banking on this, and fair enough. I mean, hell, obviously when the Fed finally started, hiking rates, and you saw, you can see what that's done for interest rates for homes in particular. My God. Good on you if you bought a home a couple years ago. You're sitting pretty at this point, right? In terms of interest rates, anyway. I know the market was higher, but setting that aside, I'm just saying, when the rates started increasing, in 2022, the markets responded negatively. And why do you think? Well, obviously, that's going to impact the economy. So what we're seeing is the reverse of that in slow motion. And we already technically did start to see it, but if you're talking about going down again after another FOMC meeting, 25 basis points, you can imagine what that's going to the stock market. Crypto moves in tandem, and there's always a bottom. When it comes to bear markets, there's always a bottom anyway. So think about this. So as an XRP holder and a crypto holder in general, I couldn't be more excited. I'm very optimistic and fine we might get a really piss poor ruling in the SEC v Ripple case, but I don't think that's what's most probable. I think there's a reasonable chance Ripple technically loses, but it's great for XRP holders because there's a path forward, which would also be good for Ripple, by the way, because I don't think they give a damn if they have to pay a fine. As long as they can continue to operate in the United States, it's like, whatever. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.